Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and me, Crafty Scrapper, here on YouTube and Instagram. Today is another episode of our monthly masterboards. I love this series. I love doing this, and I love that it is a scrap buster. It uses up quite a bit of our scraps, so I really love that. Today's concept is strips. So we're going to use those longer strips to make our master board this month. So I got quite a few longer strips, and I just wanted to try to get them all used up so we can kind of stagger them a little bit. I always forget to say this. I am starting, this month I'm starting with a 8.5 by 11 sheet of white cardstock, and it's 110 pound. It's that pin and gear that you get at Walmart, the big pack. That's what I'm using. I've got some kind of neutral scraps over here. Then I've got some that's got a little bit brighter of a color over here. And I'm really loving that polka dot. And I think I want to tear it. So let's tear it down the middle. And we can use that one side. Maybe we will use the other side too. But I do like it torn. That's pretty. We're going to ink the edges with walnut stain distress ink. I've just got the regular. I don't have the oxide in that one. We're going to use some collage to stick everything down, and that just works better for me when I'm doing a master board for whatever reason. I don't know really, but it just works better for me. And I'm wanting to use quite a bit of darker colors, so that's why I've got some of these blacks out. That's the back side of that one. I like that feather paper too, so I'm going to start just kind of layering down. I like that craft there. And I'm good with this paper here going sideways. It is like a printed cardstock, like book page, but I'm good with it going that way. And then I'm going to get a couple of pages of book page to go along with this. And use book page on this master board too. Get those ripped out there. And I will tear them in strips to use. So you can do skinny strips, you can do fat strips, whatever works for you. I think I'll do this one in some little skinnier ones. And maybe have my book page pieces as kind of the finishing edges and things of this master board. I like that idea. Let's see if we can get 2 more out of this. It'll just have barely some words on the edge. I might not use all of this book page, but I wanted to include book page in this. I like how that one's kind of zigzaggy. I might add that to the top of my base. So let's build the base now. I like the little daisies on this. Maybe add that up here somewhere. And I'm just trying to offset some of them, so maybe all of them don't end at the same place. But even if it winds up where they do, I can cover those up with whatever we put on top. So we might do some stamping on top. We might do all book page. I don't know yet, but that's the fun of masterboard. You don't really know until you have done it. Till you finish, you don't really know what you've created. I love just trying to figure out, what's this actually going to look like? I don't know. That's the fun. Let's add a little piece of this wood grain. Do I want to take? Yeah, let's go ahead and tear it. And add a piece maybe like so. And then we need a little skinny strip. I love this paper. It already looks like strips of torn paper. Love that. I'm going to get me just a little piece here to go there. I like that, and just go up and kind of cover up all of that. I might go this way with it. Yep, that looks good. All right, and I'm just going to get an idea of covering pretty much all of this, and then I will ink all of my edges and glue it all down, the base part. And I'm going to speed all that up so you don't have to watch every little tiny thing that I'm going to do as far as inking all the edges and gluing it down. That's going to take the longest, so I'll speed that part up. I like that there. That's pretty. And then we'll come back and see what we're going to add to the top, let it dry, and then we will cut it up after it's dried and see what we're going to make with all of it. Oh, I like that right there too. Okay, and maybe tear a piece of this black cardstock. It's black core all the way through, so good piece of black cardstock on here, because I wanted it to be this one to be a little darker. Maybe add that there to break up those two pieces. And then I need, let's do this little notebooky looking. Yep, I like that. Add a piece there, maybe. Yep, I like that. There. Very nice, very nice. And that's that. So let's keep it on this side. Do this piece over here somewhere maybe. Have a few little torn pieces all over. Let's see here. Maybe this leftover blue fern cardstock. This is some more thick cardstock right here. Okay, and then I'm going to tear that edge off and maybe add it somewhere in here. Oh, I like that. Maybe on top of that one. Okay. So we've got all of that covered. We've got the bottom covered there. And then, so we just really need, for our base anyways, we need just a little strip here somewhere and then a little strip here. So let's add, ooh, I like this. This is pretty. Let's add, just do a kind of straight tear there. And maybe, let's see what this looks like. Okay, I like that. And then another little piece of that, just a little strip, maybe down here, to kind of tie all that together. Oh yeah, I like this little strippy stuff like this. This is pretty. All right, and maybe another piece of this book page there. And then we just need a little fat piece for right there. I think maybe, oh, that blue is pretty. Just a little pop of color right there maybe. then we can add just a little bit more of it down here. So let's do a thick piece there, and then do a little sliver of it down here. Oh, I like that. I like it so far. Maybe one other little piece of feather peeking out over here somewhere. It needs a little extra something something right in through there, and that kind of ties in with that one. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, so I am going to start inking all of the edges, and then I'm going to use, we have these in the shop. These are the little silicone spreaders. I'm going to use these to spread out my collage page when I'm gluing everything down. All right, so y'all remember in all of my other monthly Masterboard series videos, all of those projects, if you watched some of those, all of those, you know that it looks like a hot mess express in the middle of it, because there is so much collage page on it, because you're wanting all of these pieces to stick down very well and be stuck down. So if you've got little wrinkles and something, you want to go back and put a little more collage page, like you just saw me do a swirly circle of it there, and then I'm coming back, and since this is in strips, we went this way, I'm doing the collage page at a downward angle, just to make sure that I get it all in the little nooks and crannies of all of this paper and cardstock. And you can tell already doing that how much clearer the images and the pieces of cardstock look doing it that way. And then when it starts to dry all the way, you will be able to see it in all of its beautiful splendor. It is some gorgeous stuff. I love to collage. This is so therapeutic to me. Or as Barney Fife used to say, therapeutic. I love this. So I'm going to just get off all of my excess collage page. And this is a matte finish. It does give a little bit of a sheen to it, but it is matte finish. So we should end up with a non-glossy finish. And then I have some of these are hanging off the edges. Once it starts to dry a little bit, I will get in there with my sticky scissors and cut off all the excess of what's hanging off of our cardstock base, that white cardstock base. So that is all of the pieces inked and down for the base anyway, and then we are going to go back and start adding in a few little pieces of book page, and then collage page those down. And then once it dries completely, we will start doing a little bit of stamping, inking on it, and adding some focal points. And then the fun part, the funnest part of the whole thing, is cutting it apart upside down and then seeing what we have made with the entire masterboard. So we have the entire thing covered, and our decoupage or collage is drying, in the process of drying. We have some little naked places every once in a while. And so that's what I want to use the book page for, to cover up. So let's move some of this out of the way. We have plenty of strips to make one more of these if we wanted to. Let's do a little piece here, right, where was it? Right there is some little naked place right there. So I want to ink the edges of this. Both sides are going to be seen. So let's just ink all the way and add a little bit of collage and then put that piece on there to cover up our little naked place. And let's get just a drop or two on top of it to seal it on. Okay, and then I've got a naked place right here and then another here. So let's get, I really like that. I don't want to cover up all of that. But that wouldn't be bad. I like that, and you can still see all the other pieces of everything. So I'm going to ink the edges of this on all the sides with my walnut stain. Okay, and then put down a little bit of decoupage just to cover all that, collage, whatever. Okay, and then I'm going to come in some, so maybe you'll be able to see all of that. And I'm going to position it how I want it. I like that. And then a couple of drops on top of it. There. Oh, I like that. If you listen very carefully, y'all can hear my wind chimes that are right outside my front door in my flower garden, right by the porch. They are sounding so beautiful. It's those cathedral chimes we received as a gift after, and that was the ice maker dropping ice. We received after Brandon's mother passed away from one of her friends. And you know, I've heard of wind chimes my entire life. I've heard wind chimes my entire life, but these cathedral wind chimes, they are in, like, it's a rhythm, it's a harmony that they are forming out there. It is just the most beautiful thing. It sounds so pretty when they are blowing in the wind. So if you ever have a chance to give cathedral wind chimes to anyone, or receive them as a gift or get them for yourself, you will not be sorry. They are so beautiful. Y'all need to look that up. Cathedral wind chimes. And I get nothing off of that. I'm just saying I got those and they are the prettiest wind chimes I have ever heard in my life. They're just gorgeous. All right, I'm going to get my sticky scissors here and pick this up, and I'm going to turn it over and see, we've went pretty far off down here, and then we went a little off up here. So I'm just going to go down through here on our cardstock base, and I'm just trimming off excess, and this will immediately give a little better cohesiveness to this whole project once you get this excess off of the base piece. Then I will go around on the edges and get in all of these little spots on the edges where they might be coming up a little bit from where you cut off those edges. And just get around all those edges, and then we're going to let it dry completely, and then we'll come in and maybe do some stamping and add a few little focal points to it. Okay, so we are barely tacky now, so almost to that dry point, but underneath, of course, is still wet. So we are going to ink all around our edges, and then I'm going to go in with some black soot with this script stamp, which is my very favorite stamp at the current moment. It just gives that vintage feel to your projects, like it's got old book page or ledger page on it. So I really love that stamp. I'm just going around all the edges in my walnut stain ink and getting that covered up so we don't have any naked edges. Get that dirtied up some. Whoa. Through there. Okay, and then I'm going to close up my walnut stain, open up my black soot, and then in some of the empty places, I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping, like so, and then a little there, and then maybe a little over here. And I'm good with it missing in spots like that, even better for me. And then I'm going to come down and do a little bit in this pink spot down here. And then maybe just a little bit off right there. Okay. So I like how that looks. I don't think I want to add any more. Maybe just some ghosting right through there and there. And that's just the ink coming off from where you had already stamped it. I didn't put it back into the ink. Whoop, I got junk on my hand. Okay, I've got my stamp cleaned off. I'm going to let this dry the rest of the way and really dry underneath all of that. But that is what we are looking at. Once all of that, you know it's completely dry when you don't see any of this white of the Collage Page anymore, because it does dry matte. So you won't be able to see any of the white decoupage once it is completely dry. We are pretty much dry. I can still feel a little bit of give in some places, but for the most part we're dry. So we are going to flip this over, and I'm going to cut this in 4 equal sections. And then I'm going to cut up a couple of those sections and do something else with them. So let's see. We need to cut at 4 1/4. Go over it a few times and maybe we can get most of that cut. I had to turn it over. I I usually don't. I usually don't turn that over, but I had to that time just to get it apart. And then we're going to go to 5 1/2. So 4 1/4 and then 5 1/2. And this other piece at 5 1/2. Okay. So here are the 4 pieces that we cut out. Oh, I'm already loving that. Okay, I want to cut at least one of these in half. Okay, I want to do this one. I'm going to put these other pieces aside. So I'm going to cut this at, what is it, 2 3/4 to get that halved. That one was loud. Okay, and then let's cut, oh gracious, that is just gorgeous. I love all of those little bits and just strips all down through there. I just love that. I think I'm going to leave that one as is. I don't want to cut that one up again. Let's ink all the edges of it and make a tag out of that. Ooh, I love that one. All right, let's cut this other half of that 1/4 of the whole piece. Yeah, just a touch under 2 inches. Okay, I've got some little pieces here. I still just cannot get over how pretty that is. I love that. I'm going to go ahead and ink this. And let's see. I might need to get another book page because I need some wide book page for the little embellishments that I want to make. So let's get another book page out and ink these edges. And let's see, I don't think I want to round these. That is just so pretty as is. Gracious, that is pretty. I love that. Okay, I think I will use my slot punch, and this is from, I get all kinds of questions about this. This is from Stamp It Up. I don't think they make it anymore, but I do have another slot punch just like this one, but it's got a bigger handle. It's not from Stamp It Up, of course, but it is on my Amazon storefront, and I have that linked in the description box below. So I'm going to go about middle ways and punch to get me that little spot at the top to put a little ribbon in there. I'm going to ink around that slot where I punched that. Okay, I'm going to put some lace through, make my little library knot at the top. Oh, I love that. Of course, my tails are too long. Oh, gracious, that's pretty. Yep, I love that. From the entire thing, if this is all that I would have gotten out of it, because I don't even need to add, personally I don't think I do, I don't even need to add anything else as far as a focal point or anything to that. I love how that looks. I'm leaving that as is. And then I want to ink the edges of this little piece. And I want to add it to a piece of book page, have the book page showing in the back. Yep, like that. And then I will add some kind of little focal point to it after I get it glued down. But let's go ahead and glue that to our book page. And just be sure that you can see book page on all sides. And when you are cutting, you could cut this out first on a paper trimmer, but I just find when you're working with book page, as long as you follow the lines on the book page, it works out quite well. And then I'm going to tear this side and just come right up against where the words are. And I'm going to add that to a piece of cardstock, just a little piece that I had been using in the masterboard anyway. Yep, tear it at the end, and then I'm going to glue that onto the cardstock. And did y'all notice how I did not even look at this masterboard folded in half, because I knew how good it was going to look as a journal cover, and I just didn't want to do that again to you like I did the first time I ever did a masterboard. So I just did not even look at it like that, because I knew how pretty it was going to look if I just made it into a journal cover. I intentionally did not ink that book page edge, just because it is a little bit brittle. So I waited till I got it mounted behind that, and then added that inking on that way, so it's got a sturdy back to it. And let's find maybe a couple of little ephemera pieces to add to this. Ooh, I like that. And maybe this little butterfly piece. This is the Snippets Field Notes ephemera packs, and we finally got those back in the shop. It took forever. They were on back order for a long time. And finally got those back in stock, and we try our best to keep those because they are very popular, and they have all kinds of little nuggets in them. It's just some really cute stuff, so we try keeping those in there. Go ahead and ink this. This came like this in the pack, but I want to straighten up that edge just a little bit. That was a little too wonky for my taste. So I'm going to put some glue on the back there, put some glue on the back of this, and then mount it right below that butterfly, and I can fix that butterfly around while I'm getting that put on where I want it. Now let's see. Oh yeah, I like that. Very pretty. And I'll get my wipey, get the excess off there. Okay, there's us 2 pieces. Oh, those would look really good just used as journal cards. Maybe put a couple of decorations on them. We'll see. All right, this one has got just a little bit that needs to be lopped off the top there. I like that. Let's do that as the top. Okay, and I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm going to go over to the 2 3/4 line. It's so bulky, I'm just going to get it lined up as good as possible and trim through. See, that size makes such a good tag size. I love that. Okay, and ink all of my edges, even though I think I'm going to round the corners of these. I love making ephemera for journals. It keeps you busy. It's therapeutic. Let's see. I think I will just round the tops. And let's see how that turns out. And then, yes, this is the top. Okay, yeah, I like those rounded top edges like that. And I think I want to add just some fabric onto the tops of these. I'm leaning over to get some fabric out. A little bit of maybe some cheesecloth at the top. Ooh, I like that. Let's trim this off. And then a couple of pieces from this. Okay, I think I'm just going to need one piece of cheesecloth. And I'm going to cut this down the center. Like that. And I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher to keep that in place. I'm going to go in here and put in, just going to put in a couple of staples to keep this in place. Oh, I like that. Look how it's looped up like that. It's staying in place. We put some kind of little die cut right there. And I think that is going to be pretty. Now, if you don't like grunge, of course you can just put on ribbon like I did on this other one. No worries whatsoever. But every once in a while, I like doing something just a little bit different with my tags instead of just some ribbon and a library knot, you know. Okay, hold that in place. And then one more. Ooh, I like that little angel vellum. This is, you know, pretty blank right here. Adding that little angel vellum right there, and maybe a little die cut right up here. And on this one, maybe that butterfly vellum, and maybe I can get some foam tape and add this little butterfly at the top there. And let's see, we've got an angel over here. Let's see what kind of bigger die cut we might can find to add to that top there. I like this flower bundle right here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like that. Yep. Okay, let's ink the edges of our little die cuts. Okay, and let's see, let's add, I'm going to add the vellum with some double-sided tape. That just tends to work better for me than liquid adhesive. So I'm going to add that there. And then add this one straight on underneath the cheesecloth and lace fabric that we put at the tops. Okay, and a little piece of foam tape back behind this butterfly. And let's see how that holds up. I have ink everywhere on my fingers. I like that. Let's add a little label of some kind down here, and then get some foam tape for the back of this flower piece. These are from Digital Hobby Helper, that Etsy shop. I'm going to just ink those edges, get rid of that white, and add these on with some liquid glue. I love how rugged those look once they're inked up. Very pretty. Let's not cover up that angel wording right there. So pull that one down a little bit. And there are those two little tags. Little mixed media tags I love. And let's see here. Let's add inking around all of these edges on these bigger 2/4 pieces that we cut. I'm thinking I really love that. I'm going to get some of that white off of the edges with some ink, but I like that on there, and then just use these to go in pockets in a journal. Very pretty. Oh, I like that. That blue goes with that blue, and this is just an old Kaisercraft Rose Avenue die cut set, and that goes very well. I wouldn't want to put roses or flowers or anything on this one just because there's so many daisies, which I know I did put roses up there on that one, but I like how that looks. Let's see. Oh, I know. Let's put some book page back behind that. I like the way that looks. I like that. That will be very pretty in a journal. Either put it on the page and just glue the 3 sides and use it as a pocket, or you can journal on the back and use it in a pocket. Love that. Very pretty. It doesn't take too much to decorate them once you have created your masterboard, because the masterboard is so collaged and so busy looking that you don't even really have to add too many other things. I've got some noise going on here at the house. The family has just come in while I was doing videoing, so when you hear all the rummaging around, that's them. Okay, I'm gonna dirty this up just a little bit just to get some of the white off of there. Okay, and I think that that would go a little bit better if it just didn't have so much stark white on it. So I'm gonna go in and dabble a little bit of that out, and then I think on this one I'm going to do a little bit of I think on this one I'm going to do a little splattering on it. Yeah, I like how that looks. Let's do a little bit more dirtying it right through there, and then add this on to this masterboard piece. Okay, let's see. Let's get, I think I will put some kind of word label on this one. And I like that stark white there because I'm going to add some white splatters to this one, and then add on that white label, word label. And then that'll pull that all together. So let's get that out and dabble a little bit of white paint around on that. Pretty. Okay, and of course we'll have to let that dry before we do too much to it. Let me wipe all that up, and then I will add this little beautiful tag right about there. Let me pull it up a little bit. Okay, and since my ink is not dry, I am just pressing that tag down with the handle of my scissors. So I love all that black that's on that one, and then the pops of red and pink. So that one turned out very well, I think. I love that. Y'all know me and my splatters. I love those splatters. And then this one, I don't think I'm going to splatter it. I like how it looks. I love all the blues that are in it. So that's very pretty. I think I'm just going to leave that one as is. Love that. And then we've got our tag here, our other tag, and then that one beautiful tag there that we made and did not do anything to, because I just love how that one looks. I don't even want to add anything else to the front of that one. I am happy with that one. Very, very happy with that one. And then all we had left was these two little pieces here. And I think I will add a little circle of book page onto them too. So let's just do a little half circle maybe. Since we've got that other circle there, we can add some more circle. Maybe there. And let's do a whole one. Yeah, book page always looks better to me, especially if you punch it out or something like that. It always looks better to me if you ink the edges. So that is pretty. Let's add that on. And we've got more book page down there that's kind of upside down, so I'm going to add that a little bit over that itty bitty little piece and add this piece of book page here, so you can still see that tear from that paper there. And I'm doing it this way just because of those numbers. They're more prominent on those two little pieces than anything else really is. So I'm going to go with that, and then we will add a couple of little die cuts of some kind after we do the white ink. So let's do some splattering and move the things out of the way that we don't want splattered, or at least don't want splattered anymore, since we've already done splattering. And since these are so tiny, I'm really going to knock that off so that we don't get too many big puddles. I think that's good. Okay, so there are our splatters on those tiny little pieces. And then these need some color because they've got black, they've got brown, and no other color besides that. So let's add down two little butterflies in this snippets die cut pack that are very pretty, and we'll add a little bit of color, little pop of color to these since they are so brown and black. And I'm going to add this one at a diagonal there on the edge of this, and then we still need to ink around the edges of both of these too. There, and then this one I think I'm just going to put straight on there in the corner. I like that. Anybody else would look at these little bitty pieces and go, why in the world were you even bothering with these? Because they're so tiny. They're just little offcuts. You could have thrown them in the garbage. Nah. I want to use all of my masterboard if I possibly can. So there's a little snippet to use in a journal somewhere. And then ink the edges of this one all around. there. And we could even add a little word label or something if we've got something very tiny that we can get a little bit more color out of. Okay, these are so tiny, I am not going to try and distress the edges. I'm just gonna glue. And then this one, I think right under the wing, maybe we will get it stuck up under there. I love all these pieces. I love what we were able to make with them. These three things would be great decorations in any journal. Love that. Let me make sure I've got everything in frame for you. Yes, we do. But yes, those three pieces there would make great decorations. You could even put some white paper on the back of this and make it a journal card if you wanted to. And then our 3 tags that we got out of it, and then our 2 journaling cards, which are larger, and we can actually make them card fronts if we wanted to too. But out of all of them, I really think, I mean, this piece here is my absolute favorite of the entire bunch. But then after that, I love white splatters, so that one's got my heart right there. Anyway, I love the pieces that we got out of this month's masterboard. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you're not already a subscriber here. And I love seeing the love you give my videos. Y'all have a great day. I will see you in the next video. I'll have some still shots at the end of all of these to give you some up close and personal detail. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye, y'all.